Hey everyone, this week's soap video is going to be making a soap of Nature's Garden duplicate fragrance, extremely sexy for men. This is supposed to smell very similarly to Victoria's Secret, very sexy for men. I think it smells really great and it works well in soap. I'm getting my hand mixer ready here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try to go for, we're going to use the Dibble Dabble colors, and it's charcoal. I don't know if this is actually just charcoal or what it is. However, we're going to use it in a gradient form with a white created by using titanium dioxide. And then I'm going to mix a little titanium dioxide in this cup with the charcoal. And I'm going to leave this one dark. So not sure if I want to do a swirl or a layer type thing, but we'll get there in just a moment. Here I have all of my oils, my coconut oil, castor oil, and olive oil. And here is my lye. I made a fresh batch last night of 50-50 lye solution that I just watered down, so it's nice and fresh. So let me get that out of the way. And the only thing I have left to measure here in my scale, which sorry you won't be able to see it, is the fragrance oil. So I need 1.85 ounces of that. So after measuring the fragrance oil and making a slurry with some kaolin clay and the fragrance oil, I am going to start making the soap. And I've got 2 teaspoons here of sodium lactate, which I'm going to pour into the lye solution. Sodium lactate will help make the bar just a little bit harder so that I can unmold it faster. And we're just going to give that a little stir in with our lye water. Also in the lye water is going to go some titanium dioxide. The titanium dioxide I have mixes with oil or water. So since it's pretty flexible, I'm going to do that with the water. And then we're going to add the lye water that has the titanium dioxide and the sodium lactate into the oils. Let me give the oils a mix because I can see the coconut oil just kind of hanging out at the bottom. Our oils are fully mixed. And we're going to pour the lye water in. Okay, set that off to the side. And just hand mix this for a moment. I'm going to blend this for a minute and then I'm going to add the slurry that has the fragrance oil mixed with the kaolin clay. And the clay, if I did not mention, helps bind the fragrance. So it should make the fragrance just a little stronger and help keep it to stay. Plus, kaolin clay has really great skin benefits. Let's check for trace. Okay. Let me see if I can show you just a little bit better. Let's try using a spatula. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to stir this around a little bit, and then I'm going to look at it, and you can tell that it's at trace if you don't see the oil trying to split away. So look. We are at a very, very, very light trace because the oil is not trying to separate. And I think I want to stay here. I think maybe I'll do a bit of a drop swirl today. I think that's what we're going to try to do. So I'm going to take this spatula and set it into one of the containers that I have ready to split color off. And then we'll go from there. So let's add the fragrance and blend just a little bit more. This is when things can get kind of quick and tricky. So. Stir it in just a little bit by hand. And then I'll blend for just a little smidge of a bit. You'll see that I'll hold the button in a little bit, and then sometimes I'll just stir like this. That should be all blended in, and I am quite pleased with it. I'm going to keep this nice and loose because you can always wait to get it thicker, but once it thickens, you can't do too much to thin it out. So. And I'm going to set this in a cup of water that I have off to the side. That just helps me clean the wand a little bit better later. And you can see it's already thickening up a little bit more. It's kind of like a crepe batter. I wouldn't say it's pancake batter. It's a little thin for that. So we are going to, yeah, okay. Sorry, I literally just decided that I was gonna do like a drop swirl because it's, or an in the pot swirl. I think it looks such a beautiful consistency. I think that'll be great. Pour off a little bit for some color. And so I want more. Yes, I do. So you can see I have the majority of soap batter here is white, and then a good amount that I'm going to do with the light gray, and just a smaller amount for the dark gray. I don't want it to be too black, so because sometimes people don't like choosing the charcoal soaps. I think they're really nice for the skin, but so the lighter color is gonna go in here, and I've got a little mini spatula. Now, if I could have redone this, the one thing I would have done is not added titanium dioxide in the beginning so that my darker color would not have had any white cast to it. But we'll see what the color does. And I'm mixing this really well because my color is blended with a little bit of oil. So okay, let's see. I'm trying to clean up little messes as I get them. And let's see if you can really see a color variation in here. Since these are the same kind of color scheme, I don't mind it. Okay, so I don't know if you can really tell on camera as well as I can. There is a color variation, but I'm going to add more to the dark one because I really want to make sure that there is a difference when the soap is made. And I have been in the position where I thought there would be a color differential and there really wasn't. So let's just add more. Give it a really good stir. Everything a good stir because soap will continue to thicken unless you keep it moving, and then it will stay thinner. See, now we'll try a drop swirl. Okay. You should definitely be able to see a difference in color now, for sure. All right, so got my soap mold out and I'm gonna spray it liberally with rubbing alcohol. Okay. And then we're gonna pour. I'm gonna pour this from high up because then it will sink lower into the batter, and then pour a little bit on the top and then that will stay a little higher. So give it a good stir and you will see what I'm saying. So from up high, see how it cuts through the surface, and as you lower it, it sits more on top. Okay, almost the whole thing. And then stir the darker color, or maybe it's a lighter color, I don't really know right now. It's probably gonna end up looking just about the same. So I'm gonna do it over here the same way. Okay. Now I'm going to take just a wooden skewer and I'm going to swirl it a little bit in here. Okay. Just for fun. Don't really know how it's going to turn out, but sometimes those are the most fun. So this is the soap that I'm gonna pour. A little swirled, a little not. And whew, of course I made a mess. Just go back and forth, lay down some. Okay. I still have a ton of batter left, so I'm going to scrape my container and get as much in here as possible. Okay, let's give it a shimmy and a couple taps. Okay, let me finish scraping this out. And it looked like there was a lot of color movement as I poured. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of a mix, or of like a swirl, but I might just use this again and not use anything thicker. So let's just try. Then one pass all the way around. And then we'll do stripes of gray on top. Get some all the way over there. And I'm just gonna gently use my spatula to push it kind of where I want it to go. And you still have to be careful. If you watch my videos or other soap makers, you'll see that they can really fill up these containers, but the batter has to be a little thicker than what it is now, or else you're gonna have some serious overages. So let's give this a tap. Spilled a bunch here, so I'm gonna get that into the mold. Don't waste any soap. And yes, it looks a bit messy right now, but we're gonna get the rest of this darker color in momentarily. So I'm just gonna try to scoop it a bit on the other side. And this has had time to thicken up because I wasn't stirring it. And you can see just the texture is more like pancakes. Okay, so we're gonna give it another tap, another swirl, because I really want it to settle down, and another tap. I still have quite a bit left. What I'm gonna do is waiting for this to thicken up a little bit, and then I'm gonna try to add it as it gets a little thicker. So I will be back probably in about 5 minutes. Okay, so you can see it has not been quite 5 minutes. It's probably just been about 1 or 2, to be honest. However, I did get as much of this soap in this container as I could. It's still just a little thin, but not moving nearly as much when I jiggle it. So here's what I'm gonna do, I think. First things first, I'm gonna use the end of my bar spoon, and I'm gonna go back and forth to kind of marry the color a little bit and zigzag it, and then we're gonna go up and make my classic top that I make. So let's just try it. The thing about soap is you can experiment with anything. You never know how it'll go. I don't really know if it's gonna marry the colors at all, but okay. Let's try to, you can wait longer if you want hard peaks, but this texture right here is actually quite perfect for the peaks that I like. next and kind of touch it up again. Anywhere that I feel like needs it, just a little bit. Okay, so that is finished. And the last thing I'm going to do is go around with a paper towel, clean up the outside. And after I do that, I always spray the soap with rubbing alcohol. It really helps me with soap ash. So, and soap ash won't hurt the soap if it appears. Some people steam it off. If I don't prevent it fully with the rubbing alcohol, I just let it be. It's nothing that's gonna hurt anyone. Just like a little bit of a saltiness, I guess, at the top. So now this is a nice manly soap. I'm going to resist adding glitter or anything fancy to it. However, let's see. Done with gloves. I do have these silver like nonpareils, so I think I might use some of those just for fun and see kind of what happens. I'm gonna just use a little plastic fork and try to get some in there. It's not glitter, so it's not sparkly. They just kind of add some dimension. And as the soap gets used, they will just melt away. They're just sugar. Make sure they go end to end. Okay. Just for fun. Why not? Okay, I'm gonna take it. I should have left my gloves on for this part, but I'm gonna take it. Make sure there's no air bubbles, and then before I put it to sleep for the night, spray it with rubbing alcohol. Let's take you guys out of here so I can give you a nice close-up. And this is the Extremely Sexy for Men bar. I think these little ball things are cool. Quite a bit of them will come off when I cut it, but it just adds a little bit of texture, and that's what I really like when I do glitter. So 24 hours ago, we made, probably a little more than 24 hours ago, we made and molded the Extremely Sexy for Men fragrance. And I've already kind of taken this and tipped it over so that a lot of these little nonpareils come off. Let me show you what they were, because I can't remember if I showed you yesterday. I got them from Michael's. They're just sugar nonpareils, sprinkles. And because they're just sugar, they will disintegrate. So let's unmold this and then cut it. Just trying really hard to get this out. Hopefully none of my corners, it doesn't seem to be sticking too much, so hopefully all my corners come out easily. That is one downside to these particular molds, in my opinion, is that I have a hard time getting the corners out neatly. Actually, I realized I was a little bit too far zoomed in. Okay, corners don't look too bad. Here's the soap. You can see the color differential on the side. And stack it up here. Here's the end. Nice difference in color. The bottom. It's a little soft. Definitely a little soft. But going to try to cut it and see what happens. And honestly, if it's too soft, I'll leave it on the cutter overnight. I keep it set to cut about 1 inch. So here we go. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to lay it on its side so that it cuts pretty smoothly without dragging too much. Okay, here goes. Here's the first cut. And because it's soft, just kind of keep the wire clean so that it doesn't make horrible drag marks. This is such a nice swirl. I'm actually very pleased with this. The tops. Not too many of the non-pearls are coming off, so I think it looks kind of cool. The swirl was so nice. I kind of see like a skeleton or like a face, the 2 eyes, some teeth, the shape of the skull. That's actually kind of cool. Here's a little matching soap pattern. 2 little kind of skeletons or skulls. This swirl is just so cool, and it seems to be throughout multiple bars. I'm really pleased with it. This soap was actually perfect to cut. It didn't end up being too soft at all. I love this soap. It's very pretty. Very pretty swirl. And I think it has a nice charcoal color without being too much or staining on the hands. I like that one. I like how the grays kind of swirl in, and I like how you can see a difference in the shades of gray as well. We'll see when it cures how it looks. And the swirl goes even up to the end, which is really lovely. There we go. Here's a little end piece that I can usually use as a sample or give to people. Well, that is that for today. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's take you off here for a moment. And oops, sorry for the finger. You can see all these soaps. I don't know what I'm gonna call these, but the scent is extremely sexy for men, and it's a duplicate fragrance of very sexy for men. I really like the soap tops. We kept a lot of the sprinkles, didn't lose too many, and I don't think they look too feminine. I just think they add some visual interest. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.